I name my restaurant,
that's I name the restaurant I work at.
If you name the restaurant you work at,
yeah.
Do I care?
Yeah.
No, that's what we do, brother.
We'll bleep it out if you want later.
Like Whalburgers is a name, and it's recognizable because of who they are.
Right.
They just changed the Whalburg to Whalburger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it works.
Restaurant Punk, what's up? Restaurant Punk.
Restaurant Punk.
What's up, Big Daddy?
What's going on?
What's up, bud?
How you doing?
I'm good.
You all right?
Yeah.
Does everybody know who you are? Can you introduce yourself? Can you say something? Anything?
Yeah. Joey Gallo, bartender.
Yeah, that's right. God damn it. Joey Gallo. Go ahead.
Not the mobster.
I was going to say, it does sound like a soprano name.
I know. It's not.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Bit.
There is one, just not me.
Management experience.
Yes.
You have some, correct?
Correct.
You want to go into that a little bit? No? Okay, fine.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare?
It's an absolute nightmare.
I agree 1 billion% over and over and over again. It's the fucking worst.
It's
What
terrible.
part?
All of it.
Oh.
Scheduling.
How about number 1, 2, and 3?
Scheduling's probably the worst.
Schedule.
After you
Need
get a
scheduling.
staff, scheduling's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for any staff members that work in the business, bar and restaurants, I think they know exactly what you're talking about when we talk about management. And I'm sure there are some managers that do watch us or listen to us. And I always like to ask somebody with experience, how do you feel? You know, what's the best part? What's the worst part? And I think you just...
Scheduling is the absolute worst.
Well, because you're trying to make everybody happy, right?
Well, because a lot of places don't have set days where you work. You may rotate that. Like who's getting the busy time, who's not. But then somebody wants off. Or you get into the... All right, these are your set days, and then somebody wants off, and now you got to schedule someone else for that day.
But you know what?
It becomes a problem.
Right.
Well, you're in more corporate
Correct.
situation. I feel like with us, we put it on the employee. We'll set their schedule, but like, here's your schedule forever through the season, let's say.
That's the dream.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the dream. We try to set it up. And I'm like, if you want to switch days, call somebody, get it covered. But we're talking about 5 to 12 employees. Oh, if you include the kids.
Is that a thing in corporate, though? Can you do that in corporate?
I
Can
don't
you
know.
just say,
That's
you know
what I
what?
wanna-
This is your schedule. You want to find somebody to cover it? And
That's
get it
what
done.
I'm curious
So
about.
what we do now, the bar has set days. Like you can tell if you're a customer, you know which bartenders are going to be there.
Right.
That makes sense.
Servers do not, cooks do not, and the prep people are the only people I know that are set.
That are set, like just done.
Like, do you
Good to
schedule
go.
it week to week?
We try to
2
do it
weeks
2
at
weeks
a
out.
time. 2 weeks out.
So that we can make changes.
And now
But-
if somebody wants off, can they tell you like?
Well, for the
date?
bar, I allow them to do their own as long as someone's covering the shift.
Okay.
But I keep getting burned. And like I can't get anyone to cover a shift and I have to go in on my day off.
Which blows.
It sucks. Like I don't want to be there on a Wednesday morning.
Well, I don't think anybody does.
Nobody wants to be
Yeah.
anywhere on a Wednesday morning except for their in bed.
But it's not my shift.
All right. So you got scheduling. What's next then?
Staffing's pretty tough, especially
Staffing.
now.
So scheduling, staffing, and just being a manager overall
Yeah,
blows.
I mean, because
Agreed?
the people suck.
The people
Not
suck.
the employees, the customers.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to segue into a topic. I have a topic. I know we're going down the management route, but I just want to get like just some insights
Okay.
from that. My topic is, how do you name a bar or a restaurant? Like, what's in the name? How would you name a place? And, you know, what goes into it? Is it important?
I mean-
Is it not important? Like, where do we put that? Like, how do you name a place? Because I've heard people come up with names for their place, and I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my
I
life.
agree. And we go through I don't have to go through it, but like the name of my place is named after the people, which is nice. The owners, it's their name basically.
So I've had people that I've come across, now that we're going into this topic, that say you should never put your name on your place. Why?
Look, there's certain names. Well, first, it's an ego thing.
Right.
But there's some names that just don't roll off the tongue. And there's some that do, like Bob's Barbecue Shack or I don't know, something like that. But then you have places, it just sounds right. Like I think you've mentioned Audrey Claire in Philadelphia.
Yes.
I love that name and it just sounds nice.
Right.
But it's tough because going into a name, there's so many cool people ask all the time for Petunia, our Italian restaurant in Cape May Courthouse, that they're like,
Isn't Petunia a pig?
why did you name it Petunia?
Yes. Isn't Petunia a pig too? But it's a flower,
don't know.
right?
It's
I
a
don't know.
flower.
Petunia. It just sounds, I don't
We
know.
had no,
Italian.
it was just a name on the arsenal of names that I think you had on the list.
Yes.
And we're just like, fuck it, let's just name it Petunia. Why not? I like it. It's nice. It sounds good.
I can name.
It's not Italian
my
at all.
restaurant, right?
They're Petunia
They
in
don't-
Italy.
they don't care.
I don't know.
Do you care?
If I name my restaurant,
No,
that's
if
all.
I name the restaurant I work at.
If you name the restaurant you work at,
Yeah.
Do I care?
Yeah.
No, that's what we do,
We'll
brother.
bleep it out if you want later.
Like Whalburgers is a name and it's recognizable because of who they are.
Right.
They just changed the Whalburg to Whalburger
Yes.
Yeah.
and it works. Like something like that does
Uh-huh.
work. And it has a little bit of
Well, you have a following there.
Right.
Like you name it Whalburgers,
people come
you're
in.
instantly gonna try it. Like if there was one around here, I'd go and try it. I've never
but
had a Whalburger.
What if it's not named Whalburgers,
When
though?
people come in and they're like, "Is Mark here?"
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the back doing dishes today.
Yeah, he's
Like, they
definitely
really
here. Yeah,
think
come on.
They show up
Right.
Is that how often does that happen?
every shift.
Of course
Really?
it
Every
does.
shift.
Of course.
someone has to ask.
So that's the advice that I got way back in the day. Don't ever put a place with your name on it because then you always have to be there.
Right.
And if you're not there, you're going to go out of business. And I'm like,
I don't know.
I don't know about all that, but you just said that everybody comes in and asks for
They do
Mark.
ask. They ask for
Right?
Mark or Donnie always. And then the next question is, "Are you a brother?" Yeah. Wednesday morning on my day off, I showed up because I'm a brother. If I was a brother, I wouldn't be here.
So let me ask you a question. If it wasn't named Whalburgers, would it still be as busy or popular? Do we
Now,
believe that?
My restaurant, I believe you could have named it Burgers and it would have been fine because of where it's at
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and who's behind it.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's in the casino. So people are coming no matter what.
Right.
But I do believe if you put that same concept on the street and named it, Burger Shack, I don't think it would do as well.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. And that's why I want to ask, what's the importance or how do you come up with a name? Or does it have to mean something to you? Do you do something that you believe in? Or do you do something that you think the people will believe
Well,
in?
I think it's when are you opening the place in your career? Do you have a name? Do you have a name that people will follow or a concept that is big in your area? I feel like there's a lot of external influence to what you should name the place sometimes. If he named it Mark,
Right.
it wouldn't be the same.
Right.
Whalburgers just sounds nice. But if he opened up a Whalburgers anywhere that's a semi-populated area, I have a feeling that they're going to be busy.
Correct.
No matter what. So he's going to play off that. Like Guy Fieri, he opens up a place, he puts his name on it. Gordon Ramsay opens up a place, he puts his name on it.
Right. But
Who's to say that I can go out and put my name on a
But they
place
have
and it's going to be
names.
busy?
They have a name that's already being followed somewhere else. Like between Mark, Donnie, the brothers, the chef.
That's the other brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. I
Paul.
remember. Uh-huh.
But between those two, I mean, they built a restaurant and a TV show around that name. Like we get comments all the time, like, service was terrible, and they'll show a picture and it's not even us.
Really?
It's a different Whalburger somewhere
see?
across the country.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And it was just
I never
all-
even thought about
They just
that.
clicked in and caught one, and somehow they're lumping us together.
Interesting. That makes a
Frozen-
lot of sense.
they
I mean,
sell
that
frozen
hurts, but I can
burgers.
see how that could happen.
I
They
feel like
sell
if you
frozen burgers at the Acme, and a lady complained to us on the internet and said that we need to fix this. That she took these burgers home from Acme, cooked them, and they weren't up to standard. What do you want us to do? We didn't make the burger.
Well, you're supposed to go get the burgers for her, bring them to her house,
I
and show her
guess.
how to properly do it. That's proper customer service. Maybe that's what she
I
expects.
guess.
Maybe she's out of her f***ing mind and she
And-
just needs somebody to talk to. So she goes on the internet to get some attention.
That's how it worked. So
Right.
we got a strike for whatever reason.
I brought this topic up for a reason because I'd like to say for the first time in Cara Restaurant Group's career, we what's the word? Received a cease and desist
Oh,
on a name
Yeah.
of our restaurant,
Really?
which is
Yeah.
Brine. So somebody actually got a trademark for the name Brine in the state of New York, but they got a federal trademark to own the name Brine, Brine, for the country. So, we didn't know, or we'll see some other places, or in California, it's called Brine, whatever. But yeah, the lawyers actually sent us a cease and desist that for us not to name our place Brine anymore.
So now what do you do?
And it's the first time I've ever gotten one of these. So I shared it with the group. It's like a 10-page packet, how they're similar. They sent the trademark, they sent everything.
Did
So
you change-
obviously the name is important to them because they did go out and get a trademark for it. And for those of you that don't know, to get a trademark, you don't just hit a button and get the trademark. They send it in anywhere from 9 months to over a year until you get approved. And did I see a fight in there from our end? I did not. So when I say how important is a name or how do you name a place, We're changing it from
I was gonna say,
BRIN.
do you just change the spelling?
Yes. So instead of an I, there's now a Y. So BRYNE. Or B, did I spell right?
No, BR.
That's pretty important. I should know how to spell the restaurant's name. So basically, these gentlemen have a restaurant in New York State, and they opened one in Fair Lawn, New Jersey.
Yeah.
And now that they're in the state of New Jersey, and we're maybe, I don't know, 2 hours away from each other, they caught wind of us, and they said, this is not going to work. We have the same name. We are not fighting it, right? I don't want to fight it.
I don't want to fight it either.
You know
I don't
what?
think
That's
it's
a
that
can of
important.
worms that I don't wanna
I
get
just put
into.
myself in their shoes, and I'm like, if I felt that strongly about it, okay, you know what? They're right. I'm sorry.
I don't think it's that important
No.
What?
to fight it.
No, definitely not.
If
We
you were
have
there,
the
if you were there
ability
for
to change
30
it.
years, it'd be different.
Yeah, much different. And they got theirs in 2018. So really, there's no, and I don't want to fight when it comes down to it.
No.
So how important is the name to a restaurant if it's already been open? Like, are we considered failures if we change the name Brine to something else instead of just redoing the
I
letters?
think if you change the whole name, that's what people would think.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
is
we
that the
wouldn't-
right move or the wrong move? Are we going for longevity? Would people see it as a failure?
Yeah, because we've only been open for what, 5 months?
Yeah, it's the first year we're
It's-
open.
We have, yeah.
So I think with the
fresh.
group's reputation with not closing restaurants, would a lot of people think it's weird that, we're open for a year and then we change the name? I think they're going to assume it's something completely different. We could put out a press release.
I would imagine most people won't even notice.
You think?
I'm just guessing.
I'm just saying it was pretty busy this year.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
people might just think they just seen it wrong.
this is true. I mean, the I,
Listen,
the
I'm an
Y.
idiot. So if I wouldn't catch that.
But look, that means you got to go change everything. You got to change your
T-shirts,
open
menus.
table, your any online presence on any websites that aren't even your own.
Yeah, make no
T-shirts,
mistake. We have to
menus,
change everything just
yeah.
for a letter.
Right.
But in my heart, it's the right thing to do.
I
know
agree.
what?
I think if you keep the name and spell it differently, you're better off than changing the whole name because it does look that way.
Yeah, I don't even know the guys. I don't know anything about them.
It's
But I'm like, you know
perception
what?
at that
Yeah.
point.
It really
Perception's
is,
going to
yeah.
look like you failed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but when we were shooting the shit about it and everybody came up with all these variations, all these names, and we're just like, you know what, let's just change it to a Y. But some of it's not as easy as
Can't
you
you-
think. You can't even go on, let's say open table. Can you change the name of your restaurant? We might have to shut down, reopen a
Oh,
new
shit, that's
one.
right.
Yeah.
Good call.
Can you change it to the?
I don't know. I don't
Like, what are the rules?
I don't know. If I'm the guy
Brian.
and I sent the cease and desist and I told the lawyers and then his lawyers come back to him and said, listen, they've agreed to your terms. They're going to change the I to a Y. So it'll still be called Brian, but
Yeah, but they don't own that part of it.
they own
It's
the
very specific when you
Yes.
own a trademark.
very.
So
We're
that
going
much I
through it
know.
now because we have one for George's Place.
Yes.
Right. And there are other George's Places in the country. Even in New Jersey, there's another George's Place. It just doesn't bother me.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can differentiate what's what.
Can you take the eye out and put an eyeball in?
I can try that. I like that. That's sinister. So when it comes down to the importance of the name, let me ask you a question. Do you have any names in your back pocket or scribbled down that you open a bar tomorrow? Do you have a name already ready for it?
Yeah.
You do, don't you?
I do.
Oh, I just saw that smile on your face. I'm like, yeah.
I do.
And you love it, right? And
don't-
it's not for the people. It's because
It's
you
for me.
love it. Yeah, it's for you, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing. You shouldn't do it to say, I should just do it for the people because they'll
Yeah.
like it. And it goes back to like the music or the decor or your menu even. I think when it comes down to the name of the restaurant or bar, that it should be something you believe in.
Right.
And if you believe in it and you fucking love it, then you're going to make it.
Well, you made a point. So back in 2011, we opened up YB, literally the letters YB.
Right.
And I would I've noticed that when customers come in all the time, they would be like, YB. Their eyes would go down, their head would tilt sideways. And I knew they wanted to ask.
Uh-huh.
But they never do.
6 out of 10 people didn't ask. But then I'm like, what's that mean? I'm like, younger brother. My other brother has a restaurant down the street. And they're like, oh my God, that's amazing. But it was just funny because it was all the same. It was
Yeah,
Every
even
time.
some
It
people
was
would
hilarious.
say YB, they would think of WHYB. So they'd be like, so they thought we were trying to be like serious or like, why be on this earth?
Right.
YB.
It was
And I'm
a
like,
deep
no,
question.
no. Yeah.
yeah. It was fun though. But it was a name that it was a conversation piece. it meant something to me at the same time. So it kind of had a double.
Well, your other one had to have the same effect, right?
Shimon?
Yeah.
Shimon.
That might be the greatest name ever.
Huh?
That might be one of the greatest names ever.
Or
It's funny,
one of the worst names ever. I think
I
that
loved it.
we're still split on it, but the truth of the matter is that we're still here.
Right.
Yes,
We're still. I think that's our most popular restaurant.
it might
kinda.
be. It's booked up most of the time.
Shimon, come on, baby, let's go. Let's f***ing go. I'm gonna leave with this. I know you said you have a name for your bar. Do you have more than one? Do you have a backup?
Two.
You do have two?
I have a
That was
restaurant
quick.
and a bar.
All right. So for everybody that's watching or listening, before you get your bar or restaurant, settle on the name. Don't wait to find the location. Just get it all in. Pick something you believe in. F*** everybody else. It's all about you. It's going to be your business. You better believe in it. So
Yeah,
two
the bar-
names, one for the bar and one for the restaurant. So you
Like
already said
if it's just a bar, it's one name.
one name.
If it's a restaurant, it's a different name.
Oh. And if it's a bar restaurant, you have to pick between the two.
Yeah, I would probably go bar name.
You go the bar
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
All right.
Stick with that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Done. I'm Yianni.
The Pete.
Joe.
I love the intensity.
It was a
Restaurant
pleasure.
Punk out. Thank you.
You can see red dots on the cameras, right? On top?
Say what?
The red dot on top?
I don't see a red dot. That doesn't mean it's not there. Just so we're clear.
What you got? What do you want?